It's estimated some 100 million Americans spend a lot of time looking up, which makes birdwatching one of our favorite pastimes. But it's a safe bet there's never been a birder quite like the fellow our Nancy Giles caught up with.
New York's Central Park is an oasis of green in one of the world's busiest cities, drawing millions of visitors from around the world, including more than 280 species of birds, many of which make this a regular stop on their annual migrations.
They're passing through New York City and they see the sea of concrete and they're like, where am I gonna go? And then they see this and they're like,
oh, and they all hit right there.
They all hit right here.
For Christian Cooper, the woods in Central Park's Ramble have always been a sanctuary, and the birds who make their way here, his obsession and delight.
What's that
That's a blue jay. I like to think of it as sort of the Rihanna bird, because if you ever heard Rihanna sing Shut Up and Drive, and she says, so if you want me, let me know, no. The bird is kind of going, Jay, Jay, Jay.
It's been more than 3 years since Christian Cooper made national news.
Tonight, a white woman who wrongfully called the police on a black man in New York City's Central Park.
As the black man who recorded this video when a white woman refused his request to comply with park rules and put her dog on a leash.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to me.
I mean, you had your phone.
I had this. And so I was like, all right, well then I'm gonna record your scofflaw behavior of your dog being off the leash. You know, I had no idea she was gonna take it to a racial place.
I'm gonna tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Once she did, I was like, okay, so I can either stop recording like she wants me to and hope that that makes all this go away, you know, capitulate to that racial intimidation, or I can keep doing what I'm doing until that dog is on the leash.
He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog.
By the time the police arrived at the scene, both the woman and Christian Cooper had left.
Initially, my reaction was, you know what, I just want to crawl under a rock and hide until this blows over.
But George Floyd's brutal murder in Minneapolis would take place just hours later.
And I realized that was not the proper response.
Christian Cooper's video, first posted by his sister Melody, went viral.
I'm being threatened by a man in the Ramble. Please send the cops immediately.
For better or worse, it highlighted the undercurrent of racial bias that still exists deeply in our society. And that's what we need to focus on. That bias, same kind of racial bias, made a white police officer in Minneapolis think that it was okay to kneel on a black man's neck until he was dead. Made the other cops around him think it was okay to stand by and do nothing. And George Floyd couldn't talk about it. Breonna Taylor couldn't talk about it. Ahmaud Arbery couldn't talk about it, but I could.
I'm Christian Cooper, and I am a birder.
These days, Christian Cooper's focus is back on his beloved birds. He hosts a National Geographic series, traveling far and wide to explore the wonders of birds.
And along the way, I'll show you what I adore about these crazy smart, dazzling, and super-powered feathered creatures.
And he's written a memoir about growing up on Long Island and the existential loneliness of being a closeted gay teenager.
That was a hard thing, growing up knowing that in the 1970s.
Yes. I remember the kind of things kids would say to other kids.
And in what can be very conservative Long Island. So it was a hard place to be.
How did you cope?
A lot of escapism. Part of it was getting out into nature. That was incredibly healing.
Science fiction helped his imagination take flight.
Oh my God, Star Wars came out at just the right time.
And may I ask you, how many times did you see Star Wars?
I have seen Star Wars in the theaters 41 times. And then when the first sequel came out, The Empire Strikes Back, by the second night it had opened, I had seen it 4 times. So yes, I was a little bit of an addict.
What was that otherworldliness attraction about?
It just opens up new possibilities that you can imagine, and that can be important, you know, because if you can imagine something different, then maybe someday we can get there.
Kirk here. Captain.
He credits the TV show Star Trek, particularly Mr. Spock, with helping him keep his cool during the confrontation in Central Park.
A Vulcan's mental discipline is to suppress emotion
Right.
and act only rationally
Right.
and logically.
And that's why when she said, I'm going to tell the police that an African American man is assaulting me, you were able to just go, basically.
Spock also helped him survive his childhood.
Here I was, a nerdy, brainy kid, and here's a character on this TV show who's, one of the heroes of the show, and he's all about the intellect. He's all about the brains. So that was really appealing to me, to the point that I spent hours as a child in front of the mirror, going like this, trying to learn to be able to raise one eyebrow without the other. And guess what? I mastered
it. Wait, do it again.
You keep your eyes on the bird, and you bring the binoculars to your eyes, and then boom.
The incident in Central Park has not dampened his enthusiasm for this place or for his avian friends.
It's a window into the world that people don't always have.